Okay.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, and welcome to our first lunch talk, sponsored by the Clearwater Bar Association. I'm Alan Gassman, and I'm your host, and we're very pleased today to have Nora Bergman, who is a real authority and a very effective coach for people on a lot of law practice, management, and marketing. Now, this is our first webinar, so hopefully you see me or you see us on the screen. You see the 30 free ways to market your law practice, and you also hear my voice. If you're having any problems whatsoever with anything in life in general, you can call Janine Liss at our office, Janine, 442-1200, that's 727-442-1200, or you can email Janine at gassmanlaw.com or gassmanpa.com. Also, we will have this for replay. So if you're a member of the Clearwater Bar Association and you want to see this, it will be available on the Clearwater Bar website. Now, I want to welcome everybody back from the cruise. I heard that everybody had a great time and everybody came back healthy and happy. I promised Karen France that I would not put her picture on this webinar, but I broke the promise. Welcome back from the cruise, Karen. Now, please don't forget to sign up for our 444 Show webinars. These are presented live for continuing education credit. The 444 means that it's on the fourth Thursday at 4 p.m. of every month. And on February 23rd, for $30, you can attend the Top 10 Ways to Minimize Malpractice Claims by Jeff Albinson. That's going to be a great show. March 22nd, Judge George Greer is going to present important mediation strategies and unwritten rules. So you see we have a lot of different programs. If you have any suggestions for programs, please let us know. But please sign up. The people who enjoyed Colleen Flynn's program last month had great comments. Also, you're on Lunch Talk now. March 5th, that's the first Monday of next month, Debbie Foster of Affinity Consulting Group is going to talk about your law practice in the cloud. April 2nd, my ex-partner, London Bates, is going to talk about whether you should stay where you are or hang your own shingle in a law firm or hang your partners and stay. And May 7th, we're going to talk about your membership benefits with the Clearwater Bar Association, the most important of which is the ability to watch this show. Now, I'm going to take great pride in introducing Nora. Nora's contact information is in front of you there. And by the way, if you would like this PowerPoint that you're watching emailed to you so that you can send it to everyone you know, please just let us know. So, Nora, welcome.
Thank you, Alan. I am very, very excited to be here today to talk about one of my very favorite topics. You mentioned that I work with lawyers, and I do coach lawyers in Florida and all around the country on a variety of aspects. I like to say everything that they didn't teach you in law school. And one of the things they definitely didn't teach in law school is how to market your practice. So let's get started. Before I jump into the 30 things, there's one thing I really want you to understand. It is rule number one, and that is really getting that every single thing you do is marketing. I mean everything you do. You're always marketing your practice. We'll touch upon that a little bit during the webinar, but I want to tell you just a real quick story to illustrate what I mean. A friend of mine who's an attorney in Port Charlotte, his brother's a pediatrician. And he told me the story that one afternoon his brother was coming out of Publix and unloaded his car and put all the groceries in his car and then took his shopping cart. And rather than just leave it in between the cars, he walked it back to wherever the little corral is for the shopping carts. And there was a woman there also putting her shopping cart in. And she said, God, you know, you rarely see anybody, especially guys, putting their shopping cart away. I really appreciate that. And they got to talking. She had a couple of kids. And she was so impressed with him and that interaction that they had putting his shopping cart away that she changed pediatricians and started coming to him as a pediatrician. So I offer you that story just as an illustration that every single thing you do is marketing. A couple of ground rules, too, before we jump in. Some of what we're going to talk about in the next 30 minutes, you already know. I guarantee it. You've heard it from other people. You've read it in books. You've seen it online. But knowing it is not the same as doing it. So I want you doing this stuff, not just knowing you should do it or knowing about it or having heard it before or thinking, oh, isn't this just common sense? I really want you doing it. So I'd like you to pick 3 things as we go along. I don't think you're going to be able to do all 30 of these. If you can, bravo. Please let me know that you're doing all 30. But let's start doing something. So pick 3 things over the next 30 minutes that you're going to start doing today. And by the way, I'm guessing that some of the folks on the line with us are already doing some of what I'm going to be talking about. So we're going to go quickly. I'm not going to have a whole lot of time for questions, but I would ask you, if you have questions as we go along, please write them down. Email them to me when we're finished. Feel free to give me a call about them when we're finished. Just let me know, and I'll be happy to address any questions that you might have once we get started. I'm also going to
by the way, we have 23 attendees, and I would challenge all of you to send Nora an email telling her which of these 3 techniques you're going to implement, and then let her check with you a week later and see how you're doing.
Thanks, Alan. You know, you mentioned one of the most important components of anything we do when we try to change our behavior, and that is accountability. If you don't have a coach, get yourself an accountability partner, a friend, a colleague, somebody in your law office that will hold you accountable to doing the things you say you want to do. Okay, so here we go. Number 1, make marketing a habit. Everything that I talked to you about today is something I want you to start thinking of as a habit. When you pick 3 things that you're going to do, I want you to make them a habit. That means do them every single day, just like brushing your teeth. You don't get up in the morning and have an intellectual conversation with yourself about the benefits of brushing your teeth and the fact that, oh, if I brush, I won't get gingivitis. It's a really good thing to do. No, you get up, you brush your teeth, probably still half asleep. You don't think about it. You just do it. And that's the way you need to get with respect to your marketing. And as you develop those habits, I want you to do what you love. I want you to make marketing a habit that you love and to do things that you enjoy. Some of the things I'm going to talk about today, you might think, that's not for me. I don't like to write, or I don't like to speak, or I don't want to do this or that or the other. I don't want to join that organization. Then don't do it. But there are many things that you do love doing and many organizations that you are connected to that are meaningful to you. That's where I want you to focus your marketing efforts. I want you to focus it on doing things that you love. For example, if you're a wine aficionado, you absolutely love wines, create a wine tasting for your best referral sources, your best clients. Focus on the things that you love and do more of them. Number 3, you got to have a plan. As one famous person once said, plans mean nothing, but planning means everything, right? Simply, the act of planning is incredibly important, especially in marketing. Know what you want to do, when you want to do it, why you're doing it, know who you're focusing on with respect to your marketing, and create a plan for yourself. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be incredibly detailed. You can start a plan by including in it the 3 things that you're going to do out of this webinar. That can be the beginning of your plan. Remember I said everything you do is marketing? Well, here's kind of what I'm getting at. Everything is marketing. So if you have a messy office and you have to climb over piles of files on your floor to get to your desk, that does not send a good message to your clients or potential clients who come in to see you. Or maybe some of the attorneys, nobody on this call, nobody on this webinar, I know, but I know there are some lawyers out there whose offices, their personal offices, are so messy they won't bring a client into their office. They'll take the client to a conference room for a meeting rather than bring them in their own office. So what that tells me is that you know intrinsically, it's there, you know that that messy office doesn't send a good signal. So clean your office, clean your reception area, clean your car. That sends a message about you too. Shine your shoes. I just had a client that I'm working with who is actually in the process of hiring looked at one of the candidates that they had come in and noticed it was a gentleman. His shoes were a mess. And commented, didn't kill the job for him necessarily, but boy, it did not make the kind of impression that he wanted to make on a potential new employer as an associate in that firm. Help your receptionist be absolutely awesome. Your receptionist is the voice, the face, the first line of contact for your law firm. Unfortunately, receptionists are often sort of given short shrift, and it's not considered an important role in the law firm. It is one of the most important roles in your law firm, so do everything you can to help your receptionist be absolutely awesome. I'm going to make available to everybody on the webinar a script that Atticus has developed that you can customize for your own use, but I would urge everybody on this call to make sure that your phones are answered the way you want them to be answered. And regardless of who's sitting in that chair, they know how to answer the phone for your firm. Make your receptionist an absolute star. And think of ways that you can improve your client's experience with your firm. You know, I've got a number of clients that offer cookies, coffee, a couple of clients who've actually created little menus that their receptionist hands to people who are in their waiting area. You know, they get a Keurig coffee machine, and you can have all kinds of different flavored coffees by the cup. I have a client up in Maryland whose mom loves to bake. She happens to be an adoption attorney, so she has out on her reception counter fresh pastries that her mom bakes a few times a week, and it's become a signature for her. When her clients come in, they ask, where's your mom's rugula? If it's not on the counter, she hears it from her clients. So what does that do? That creates an experience for your clients that goes far beyond what you do for them from a legal perspective. Your clients are...
What else can you do in that regard?
Some of the other things that you can do, simple, to improve the client experience, return your phone calls when you say you're going to return them. If you tell a client that you're going to call back within a certain period of time, make sure that you're making that call or someone else is making that call for you. Something else that you can do that can really knock your client's socks off is after you agree to represent someone, within that first week, have an assistant simply give them a call. Ask how they're doing. Let them know what's happening with their file. We would call the person that makes that call out a designated hitter for you, somebody that the client can develop a relationship with and can call in for calls. Have your designated hitter make a call out the first week of representation just to check in. Give them their name, their phone number, and let them know that they can call back anytime that they have any questions. Make another call in the second week. If you make some of those initial preemptive calls, you will wow your clients, and if they're A clients to begin with, they're not going to be calling back time and time and time again. So those are a couple things that you can do to actually improve the client experience. What's another thing you can do? Number 7, this is one of those almost free kind of things. Get a digital photo frame for your reception area. What can you do with a digital photo frame, you're asking? Well, you can do lots of things. First of all, you can create a PowerPoint presentation, not just photos. You can actually create a PowerPoint and put it on that frame. And it can have everything from your practice areas to information about everybody in the office with photographs and some personal information about them. You can scan in notes that you've gotten from happy clients, put it in the digital photo frame. I have one client who sponsored a charity event down in Sarasota for the Sarasota Community Foundation, and she created a PowerPoint of all the photos from that charity event with her happy clients and kids. And give your clients something worthwhile to look at while they're in your reception area. You can get a digital photo frame for $100. Alan, did you have a question?
No, I just said that's a great idea. I've never seen that or thought of it. People are going to really enjoy that. Really simple thing to do. And you can, as I said, you can use it for anything. You can use it for information about your firm. You can use it for information about your practice area. Anything, really. The sky's the limit on that. Know what makes you you. Know what makes you unique. Every single person on this webinar has something that is unique about them and unique about their law firm that sets them apart.
You may not know what it is, but you owe it to yourself to find out. You've got to know what makes you you. You've got to know why your clients hire you, why they come to you, what makes you different from the other people that practice in your area. This is another area where I'm going to make a resource available to you from Atticus, which kind of walks you through the process of creating a laser talk or an elevator speech. It'll at least get you thinking. You may not use it exactly as this particular tool suggests, and I don't really know that anyone should or would, but it'll get you thinking about what's unique about you and start to help you get comfortable about talking about yourself. I hope that every single person on this call loves what they do, loves practicing, loves their clients, and can speak passionately about how you help your clients. I'll give you a little hint in terms of creating an elevator speech or a laser talk. If you can answer the question, our clients hire us because, and then fill in the blank, or my clients work with me because, and then fill in the blank, you'll be going a long way to creating your laser talk, to knowing what makes you you and what makes you stand out from the crowd. Number 9, know who your best clients are and where they come from. If you're not tracking and keeping track of who your A clients are, you've got to start doing that now. It's another tool I'm going to make available to you. I'm going to mention at the end of the call, to track your calls, your inquiries, where they're coming from, who is referring them to you. If you don't know where your A clients are coming from, be it a website, be it an online resource like Avo, be it a personal referral, how are you ever going to get more of them? You've got to know where they're coming from, and you've got to make the effort to start tracking them. And along the line with that, stop taking D clients. And what I mean by D clients, we like to rank our clients in terms of A, B, C, and D. Everybody knows what an A client looks like, generally speaking. You know, they listen to you, they pay their bills, they don't argue, they don't call 5 times a day complaining. The D clients are kind of the opposite of that. If you have them in your practice, they are eating you alive, both in terms of time and money. And I just want to share something else with you in terms of D clients. Oh, and by the way, these two concepts, the idea of not taking and getting rid of D clients, are things that you can start doing right now. And why does this go to marketing your practice, you may be thinking? Well, because if you start looking at where your best clients come from, I'm very suspicious that you're going to find, like most of the attorneys that I talk to, that your best clients are coming from referrals from either current clients that you have, good clients, or other attorneys. So if your best clients are coming to you from your best clients, where do you think your worst clients might be coming from? For most practice areas, with the exception perhaps of PI, because a PI attorney can get a great client from literally anywhere, right? But in other types of practice areas, family law, estate planning, commercial litigation, business law, your best clients are going to come from your best clients. Your best client referrals will come from A clients because they're surrounded by other potential A clients. Who are your D clients surrounded by? Other potential D clients. And you don't want them in your practice, and Slide 11 shows you why. There's something called the 80-20 rule, which generally says that 80% of our results come from 20% of our efforts. But it applies in the law firm, too, in a couple of ways. Your best clients, oh, and by the way, let me pause for just a moment. I know I'm speaking really quickly here. Your best clients, they may be 20% of your practice, might be 30%, but it's right around in there. Don't take my word for it. Look at your own files. Bottom line, your best clients generate 80% of your revenue while taking up 20% of your time. Your worst clients generate 20% of your revenue by taking up 80% of your time and generally making your life miserable in the process. So to the extent that you can keep them out of your practice, and if they're in your practice, to let them go professionally, ethically, appropriately, let them go, get them out of your practice, the happier you're going to be. And if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, I don't think I have any D clients in my practice. When we finish this webinar, I want you to go out and talk to your receptionist, talk to your paralegal, talk to your legal assistant, talk to your associate, and ask them if they think you have any ED clients in your practice, because your ED clients generally aren't going to treat you badly, but they'll treat your staff badly. So be aware of that.
Very good point.
Number 12, cultivate relationships with your referral sources, i.e. make friends. Do what you love and make friends with people. And get comfortable asking for referrals. This is a challenge for a lot of folks. And so I'm recommending a book to you. It's called Don't Keep Me a Secret by an author named Bill Cates. It's a great little read, and it gives you some wonderful ways to start thinking about how you can comfortably ask for referrals. And one of the ways he suggests is to simply adopt the phrase, hey, if I'm doing a great job for you, don't keep me a secret. Always, always, always say thank you. Always write a written thank you note for any referral that you get. Handwritten thank you notes make a tremendous impact. So make that a habit. If you had to choose one thing out of these 30, this suggestion right here might be the most impactful if you're not already doing it. Remember I talked about the importance of a plan? Plan 3 face-to-face meetings each week. They can be anything. They can be coffee at Starbucks. They can be Dunkin' Donuts. They can be a lunch. They can be a beer after work, a glass of wine after work, whatever you love doing. Make it a point to schedule 3 face-to-face meetings a week. I'm going to talk about social media in just a moment, but there's nothing that replaces the power of face-to-face contact with people and face-to-face building relationships with people. Nothing. If you like to speak, do more of it. Speaking for the bar associations like the Clearwater Bar, the St. Pete Bar, the Hillsborough County Bar Association, the Florida Bar are always looking for speakers. It is a wonderful way for you to really establish yourself as an expert in a particular practice area, even if you're not board certified in that practice area. Maybe you can't call yourself an expert, and I wouldn't want you to call yourself an expert, but if you establish a deep breadth of knowledge in a particular area, you won't have to call yourself an expert because people will do that for you. So if you like speaking, make it a point to get some speaking engagements. Here's another almost free suggestion for you. Host a lunch and learn in your office or at a client's office or at a referral source's office, something that would be meaningful to them if you like to talk. Almost free, pretty inexpensive. Along the idea of speaking, writing, bar associations are always looking for good contributions to their newsletters or e-newsletters. So if you like to write, write. Schedule time to write and begin writing. It will make a tremendous impact on your visibility, how people think of you, your top-of-mind awareness with potential referral sources, what we like to call TOMA. Writing for a newsletter is one of the best things that you can do. And if you're writing for a newsletter, you might want to consider blogging. Don't have time to talk a lot about blogging, but I've provided some resources for you. Copyblogger is just a really fantastic website with all kinds of tips, ideas, strategies on how to blog well, how to make time for this, because while some of the things I talk about might be free with respect to monetary investment, they're not free with respect to your time investment. So you've got to be wise about how you plan your time, how you budget your time, and how you make time to do this work. And speaking about making time, if you're not already involved in some type of social media network, I would urge you to make time to become involved with social media. It is not going away. Lawyers are typically pretty late adopters of technology, but social media is here to stay. And if I had to recommend only 2 sites for you to become involved with, they would be LinkedIn and Avo. And we're going to talk first about LinkedIn. If you don't already have a profile on LinkedIn, create one. Create a profile on LinkedIn. If you already have one, update it. Build your network. Join meaningful groups. What I mean by that is there are like a gazillion groups on LinkedIn. I mean a gazillion. Join groups that are meaningful to you. And remember how I said on a few slides ago, know where your best clients come from? Know where your best clients come from. And the groups that your best clients might participate in in LinkedIn. For example, if you're a construction lawyer, you might want to look and see if there are any groups on LinkedIn that are organizations of people in the construction industry in the Tampa Bay area, and join that group. You can start connecting with people on LinkedIn, and the wonderful thing about it is that it lets you connect not only to potential referral sources, but lets you connect ethically to potential clients in a lot of areas and develop relationships with potential clients. So if you're not tapping the power of LinkedIn, I urge you to do it. And I've provided some resources here for you too, a couple of which, the bottom one, learn.linkedin.com, is right on the LinkedIn website. Great resource to help you build that profile. I mentioned joining meaningful groups. How about starting your own? Once you're on LinkedIn, you can start your own group, your own discussion group. Ask a few friends to join you. You'll start to get other people to join who are interested in the same topics, and you can position yourself as a thought leader in that particular area. It's a simple thing to do, and if you're already on LinkedIn, you ought to consider doing it. And remember how I said that there's nothing that can take the place of good old face-to-face time with people? I mean that. I absolutely mean that. Social media supports your face-to-face time, but it can't replace it. So turn those online connections into offline relationships. What do I mean by that? Once you get on LinkedIn, you're probably going to get requests to connect from people you do not know. And some of you guys, I'm guessing, are already having that happen, and maybe you're ignoring them. You don't know what to do with them. Well, I'm a firm believer that LinkedIn, your connections on LinkedIn should be people that you actually have connections with. So when you're sent a request to connect or an invitation to connect by somebody that you don't know, use it as a way to turn that connection into a real relationship. Accept the connection and say, you're allowed to write a little message when you accept an invitation. I do my best to keep my relationships on LinkedIn limited to people I really know. I'd like to get to know you. I'd love to give you a call and maybe meet you for coffee. You never know what that's going to turn into. But use that opportunity to really build your offline relationships. We could spend a day talking about AVO. I'm just going to say a couple things about it. If you're a lawyer in Florida, you already have a profile on AVO, whether you know it or not. So claim your profile, complete your profile. AVO right online gives you a list of things that you need to do to complete your profile. Once you are complete, talk to lawyers that you know well and that you respect and ask for endorsements from them. There's nothing that's ethically prohibitive of that, as long as you're going to get into some type of quid pro quo situation with them. And let your best clients know you're there. You cannot, under our rules of professional responsibility in Florida, solicit testimonials from your clients. That's a big no-no. However, there's nothing that prohibits you from letting your best clients know that you're on AVO. You're not asking them to write something nice. You're letting them know that you're there. And if they're your best clients, they're going to come there and they're going to give you a wonderful testimonial.
So basically, a lot of people are going to AVO. That's a very active place.
Oh, yes, it is. As a matter of fact, it was driven home to me rather intensely a week or so ago when I referred a friend of mine to someone in the Orlando area who needed a wrongful death attorney. And then I went and looked at his AVO profile. Now, this is a board-certified, 30-plus year attorney, tremendous credentials, who had a 7 on AVO, which is not bad, but it's not great. He should be a 10. And I thought, well, if I didn't know him and he came up for me on AVO and I saw a 7, I'd be looking perhaps at some other lawyers. So yes, clients are going there. Clients, although the best clients are going to come from personal referrals for you, even those personal referrals that you get are going to Google you. They're going to look for your website. They're going to see if you're on YouTube. They're going to see if you're on LinkedIn. They're going to look at you on AVO. They're doing that now. So manage your online presence to the extent that you can.
Is Martindale Hubbell becoming a dinosaur?
No, not really. But I would say that AVO is where more potential clients are landing. Boy, that's a great question, Alan. We could have a long conversation about Martindale and AVO.
Martindale's costing a lot of money.
Martindale's costing a lot of money. Avo is free. Although
I buy a lot of cookies.
I recommend that all my clients pay Avo $49 a month to keep other attorneys off of their Avo profile. If you go to Avo Pro, and I have nothing to do with Avo, by the way, gives you a lot more control over how your profile appears. So I provided for you just a couple of website resources. Both of these companies, the Modern Firm and Amicus Creative, focus on lawyer websites. And you might, if you don't have a website or you're thinking about updating yours, you might want to take a look at those. Here we go. Then once you have your social media up and running, connect it to your website. Make sure that people can find you on LinkedIn directly from your website, or find you on Avo, or I know a lot of lawyers are actually on Twitter. Make sure that all of those sites are connected to your website. And now that you've done all this, you've collected all this information, you know who your referral sources are, you've got to get it organized. I don't care how you organize it, but I want you to organize your best referral sources, your top 20. Start creating a list of your best referral sources. Get them into your Outlook. Get them into some type of computerized contact relationship management, or use a good old paper file. I don't care, just so long as they're organized and you can keep track of who your referral sources are referring to your office and you can stay connected with them. I mentioned the importance of 3 face-to-face meetings each week, really critical to marketing your practice. Doing at least 3 things each day, something, every single day. Set a goal for yourself. Put a sticky note on your monitor that says 3. Whether it's sending an email to a past client that you haven't talked to in a while, picking up the phone, calling a client just to see how they're doing, calling a colleague that you haven't talked to in a while, doing something. Spending time to write a quick blog post, working on an article that you're preparing for a newsletter, drafting the outline of a speech. If you can do 3 things every day that are constantly moving you forward, it's those little steps that mean a lot. You know, I heard a saying once that I just love. You can't jump to the top of Mount Everest. You've got to do it one step at a time. Same with anything that you do. Anything that you do, you've got to take it one step at a time. And by the way, those small little incremental changes, like doing 3 things a day and making that a habit, those will make the biggest impact on your life overall and your success in marketing overall. And then finally, measure your results. You're doing all this work, you've got to know if it's paying off. I'm going to make available to you a simple Excel spreadsheet that allows you to track where all of your clients are coming from, who referred them to your office, whether or not you've retained them, whether you've sent a thank you note to the referral source, etc. Simple spreadsheet. You can use it. Whoever handles your intakes into the office can track every single call that comes in. You've got to measure what you're doing. And then finally, you got to have fun. If you're not having fun in the process, you're not going to do it. So take 3 of these things, 3 of the things that I've mentioned that you love. Find out what you love and start doing more of it and have some fun with it. And I promise you, you will begin to see results. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. The kind of marketing that we're talking about takes some time. It's kind of like a garden. You've got to plant the seeds, water the seeds, weed the garden, and take care of it. But ultimately, you will see results if you're willing to put in the work. Whew.
Nora, that was fantastic.
Alan.
Wow. I'm going right to the
like
grocery store to buy some cookies. Put some carts away. But those are great ideas. I see a lot of things we're not doing, and that are going to be very easy to do.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, you want to pick some things that are easy, that are simple, that have a big payoff. And the things that I've focused on today are simple things to do. By the way, simple doesn't always mean easy. It's not that it's easy to do some of this stuff, but it's certainly not rocket science. And the kicker is most every lawyer knows this stuff. They're just not doing it. So if you can be the one that's doing it, you'll set yourself apart.
Fantastic. So we're showing Nora's picture there and her email addresses, and you have my email address. Please send Nora any questions, comments, or suggestions you would have. We would love to have Nora come back for another presentation at another time on something related. Nora, can you just give us 30 seconds on Atticus?
Yes, absolutely. Atticus is a company that is devoted completely to coaching lawyers. I think I said earlier, we work with lawyers on everything that they don't teach you in law school. And what they don't teach you in law school is a lot. So I coach my clients on everything from managing themselves and managing their time to marketing, like this, staffing, recruiting, developing, mentoring the people that they work with, understanding the financial systems that drive their law firms. I do a lot of leadership work with my clients. So we do a lot of one-on-one coaching with people who are really ready to take their lives and their law practices up to the next level, to take the next step. We actually have our 2-day program, you just made me think of that, Alan, coming up on April 20th and 21st in Orlando. We do a 2-day program 3 times a year, twice in Orlando and once in California. It's called the Practice Builder. And if you've never attended it, I would highly recommend that you go to the Atticus website, which is atticusonline.com, and read about it. I can promise you that it is unlike any CLE or seminar you've ever been to before. It's all about you, your life, your practice, and making it better.
Wow. You want to send me the information, and I can send that on to the attendees.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Okay, great. All right, well, we can't thank Nora enough, so we'll have to thank her later. The upcoming 444 show webinars, please don't forget to sign up. It's only $30 for 1 hour of continuing education. You can be wearing a t-shirt and cleaning up your desk for the next client coming in during it. And we have some really good topics, some really good speakers. Nora, thanks again. Thanks to everyone for attending, and have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Alan. Bye, everybody.